It's it's like 10:30. Or I'm sorry, 9:36. Saturday evening, the 16th, and I am just stopped here along Route 1 towards Glen Allen, between Palmer and Glen Allen, and probably like 100 and some miles. I don't know, just under 120 miles or so from Glen Allen. But just stopped along the road here for a break, and just thought I'd show this cool view of Alaska. Just some mountains and a very, very silt filled river. I mean, the river's as gray as can be, and you see a lot of that up here. And again, like I said, I guess it's I don't know if it's silt. Yeah, silt, or again just the sandy shores, are kind of that color. You can see the rocky shoreline over there, and yeah, the sand is like that color. So I'm assuming that's what it all is. But I think it's pretty cool. And again, the fact it's going on 10 o'clock at night, and it's as light as can be. But late start today. In the first place over there at Chugach State Park, and then from there is just didn't go very far into Anchorage, and not very far into Anchorage, and hit a McDonald's first thing, and I was there for hours today. Besides saying cold and wet being a good way to describe today, today was all about visiting, more so than others. Most days I spend, or often, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of days I spend a bit of time with people. But today, by far, I've spent way more time with people than any other day this entire trip, I would say. Outside of staying with my aunt and uncle and cousin and her husband, there in Florida. Today, just meeting people and visiting there at McDonald's. When I first went into the it was a McDonald's, slash gas station, and right away I met a super friendly guy named Charles, and working the gas station side there, and spoke to him then and told him about my YouTube. And then before I left, I gassed up there, and he was out there emptying the trash, so I got to talk to Charles again and shake his hand. And Charles is an absolutely great guy. He's from Arkansas. And after telling me that, yeah, I'm going to say he had probably a little bit of an accent. Didn't really sound like an Alaskaner, or whatever you call him. But just super great guy, friendly guy. And Charles, it was great to meet you there, my man. And so him, and then I went inside to the McDonald's side, and actually I met him going in, but then he was sitting in there when I went in. His name is Icky, and he is from American Samoa, and he's been here for, I'm going to say, probably sometime around 17, somewhere in there. He moved over here permanently. I think he came over here maybe his first time in like 16 and went back, was here for a month or so, went back, and then he came back again for another visit, and his kids got him to stay. So yeah, he's got daughters in the area. Maybe it's all girls, I'm not sure. But he mentioned his daughters, numerous times, and a son-in-law. He's got like 7-8 grandkids, and he had his great-grandson there with him at McDonald's, and he was off playing in the in the play side, a good part of the time. Icky and I were there talking, but again, it was literally I don't know, at least 2 hours, if not more. And he even said himself he never he's never there for that long. But just great meeting you, man, and great visiting with you all that time. And he just really opened up and just told me a lot of stuff about his family and about his culture, even being from American Samoa. It was cool to just hear about the tattoos in particular. I thought was pretty fascinating about what the tattoo means and how important it is to his culture. And being all tatted up, I thought that was neat. And I'd like to get like a true tribal type tattoo like that one of these days, maybe, God willing. I think that'd be really cool, done the old school way, the way they do it. It's very painful, evidently, but I still think it'd be very neat to do, just the whole process and everything about it. but we talked for, again, just a long time. And he was a Marine. He was actually in the Marine Corps. And unfortunately, though, he lost his wife last October. So it hasn't even been a year. And he got a little emotional, understandably, tell me about that. And really, I'm not sure what it was exactly that took her. It was something to do with her arm, and a real bad issue she had with it. And I don't know if it was an infection or what it was, but I'm just so sorry for your loss, man. And I appreciate you sharing that with me. So like I said, we spoke for a long time, and that was nice. So then I left there, and because I was coming back through Anchorage again, I thought I had to hit the Golden Corral that I hit the other day before I went down to Homer. So I hit that again, and lo and behold, I'm sitting back there looking up a bunch of stuff on the phone. But then when I was done with that, I ended up talking to the two men next to me. One was a little bit older. Turns out he's 78 years old. And then the younger guy, the nephew, was 64. And the nephew is Richard, and he lives in Juneau. And but he's originally from Illinois. And then but he's been up there for a number of years. He said he's lived in 17 different places. So he has done quite a bit of traveling. Even lived there close to the Appalachian Trail in Virginia there for a while. And then his uncle John has been up there since, I think, maybe since '68. And John has done it all. John has he worked for BLM as a firefighter, Bureau of Land Management, their property that I camped on, down in the lower 48. He worked for them as a firefighter. Well, he was in the Army. He's driven a semi, sounds like. And he was a merchant marine on the Great Lakes, which I thought was really cool. So just both just neat guys, and just very friendly. And we talked. Well, again, I was at Golden Corral. I didn't leave there, I think, till about 4:30, something like that. And I got there probably around 1, if not earlier. So again, we spoke for a really long time, and it was great to meet the both you guys. And actually, Richard hit me up on Facebook, gave him our Facebook, and so we're now friends on Facebook, so he can follow along, which I think is great. So I'd like to stay in contact with him, and then through John as well, through him. But John lives in the Anchorage area, if I didn't already say that, and they've been fishing for either a couple days or a few days, and they're doing something what's called dip netting. And dip netting's only allowed for residents, and or I guess if you have a resident, and then you could have like a family member with you, evidently. But they've been dip netting, catching salmon, and they'd been down in the Homer area as well, and they showed me some pictures of video of salmon caught and everything, and that's just so cool. I'd love to try something like that one of these days. But a pleasure talking, meeting both you guys, and spending all the time with you guys today. But from there, left there, went to one of the local Walmarts there in Anchorage, and then finally rolled out. I think it was about 6 o'clock. And then from there, I came back to Palmer to the McDonald's that I hit again, going through the other day. Went back in there and drank a cup of decaf, just because I enjoy, again, it's all Black Gold to me, caffeine or not. I just enjoy the habit of it and the taste of it. So I was in there and got a full charge on the phone, and I really didn't talk to anybody in there. But then when I was leaving, there was a woman in her minivan there picking up her son from work. Excuse me. And turns out her name was Mila, and she's from Russia. And she's been here in the country for, she said February was 20 years. And interesting woman, and just just a lot of personality. And tell me about her dad. Her dad, there in Russia, was actually a scientist, and he studied cosmic rays. And then at some point, he did come to America. I guess maybe when she did, maybe that's how she got here. I'm not sure exactly, but I know she did say he came to America, and they kind of wanted to know about his research and all that stuff. And she said even there for a while before he met her mom and got married. Well, he might have known her, but they weren't married yet. He did like a year down in Antarctica with a group of scientists studying all that stuff. So it's just it's fascinating. It's so cool. But But again, Mila was picking up the one boy. I don't know if that's all they have for kids. She was talking about her husband. He's a big marathon runner, and they actually had a trip planned to go to Patagonia so he could run down there. He has a goal or a dream of running on a marathon in every continent, which I think is it's just so cool. And it's brother John. There's one for you. My brother John is a big runner. He's even done ultra marathons. Where they're running. Oh man, I'm trying to think if he's done 50 miles. I don't remember if he's done 50 miles or not, but I know he's done more than once, well beyond a marathon. Him and actually his buddy Ron, and Ron even is a bit older. Ron's like in his 60s, and he's doing that stuff too. So both of them are running beasts. But there you go. There's a goal, a marathon in every continent. But so yeah, it was just great meeting her and talking to her. And again, spoke to her for quite a while, out there before I rode off. And so I haven't been on the road a whole lot today. I don't even know for miles. I don't even have like 100 miles, or maybe like 80 miles or 90 miles, something like that. And I'm going to go further towards Glen Allen, God willing, try to get within like 60 miles. But again, as light as it is and all that, I might as well. I just, I feel like riding. And again, maybe try to get further and further away from the rain. But thankfully, the rain it hasn't rained now since, I'm going to say, pretty much leaving that Golden Corral at like 4:30. It might have been sprinkling then, but by the time I got over to Walmart and everything and left, I don't know that it's rained anymore. But it's chilly. It's very overcast out here, and the air is just kind of cold and damp. But it's all right. It is what it is. And I am blessed to be here in Alaska along the, like I said, Route 1. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what the river is right now, but it's got a good flow in it, from what you saw. And again, it seems like all these rivers up here do, man. They're just, again, back in British Columbia, right from the start there with the Fraser, man, all these rivers are swells, it seems like. And again, that's even before they got all this rain. We started getting rain here in the past couple days. The forecast again, though, over towards Glen Allen and Tok and all that is looking much better, thankfully, a little bit warmer and all that. And I did check what I was saying about up around Denali. Yeah, up in that area, man, and that Cantwell. Yeah, there's days coming up here in the next few days that are like highs in the upper 40s and lows of upper 30s, like 38, high of like 48, maybe even 46. The lowest I saw, I don't know if I saw 36 or not. I'm thinking maybe I did. So cold weather, especially with the dampness. But thankfully, I'm not going that way. I'm going the other way. So let's see. I here this afternoon's ride or this evening's ride. I don't remember if it was after Palmer or not. But sometime, not too long ago, I saw it was either a bald eagle or a osprey flying above. So that was cool to see. I did not mention yesterday, I saw 3 bald eagles. One of them right there on the spit when I was riding off the spit. And it was just flying right along the road, and I rode past it, and it was just kind of soaring, not real fast where I was able to ride past it. And then I pulled over, and I shot video. I don't know if it was with my phone or if it was with the GoPro of it flying past me. But either way, I did get some footage of it. So that was really cool and pretty close. So yeah, it's amazing to see. I love them. I mean, it's, everybody should, especially Americans, of course, with that being our national bird. I mean, it's a powerful thing to see them things fly with their size and their grace and all that. So that was really cool. Trying to think, people I did not mention, I don't think, the other day when I was heading down to the Homer there, when I got to the sign for the Kenai Peninsula, they had a big sign right there, big road sign, kind of like, the typical, state signs. It was that big and it was that nice. Took still shots there for Facebook, but I didn't shoot any. Well, again, with the GoPro, I shot some footage of it. I did, yeah. And but I met a family from Los Angeles, Mike and his family. He and his wife and 2 young daughters, and just seemed like just pleasant people, kind people, and it was great to meet you all. And I hope you're watching. So I think that's it. Maybe, Lord willing, tomorrow, maybe around Glen Allen, maybe I'll do a church service in the morning. We'll see. Um, I guess for now, that's it. I'm gonna try not to, like, when I stop up here, God willing, to camp here after a while. I probably won't shoot much of a video then. I think I've covered everything I wanted to today. Um, unless I left somebody out, but I think I got everybody. Again, I got the Eagles, and yeah, I think. Oh, I did want to mention. I was showing that there at again Chugach State Park where I camped last night. There by the road. I guess a couple things. When I camped outside of Whittier by the Blue Ice Trail, or the Trail of Blue Ice, the other night, that was the Chugach National Forest, actually. And again, I like utilizing national forest, so that's what that was. And and again, so a free campsite. And then back at the state park, as I was starting to say this morning, I was showing footage of that big gnarly looking train in that front, that I said reminded me of something steampunk. I thought that thing was like for, I don't know, for mining, for breaking rocks or something. It had that, big gnarly looking red front end, like this crusher on the front. But it turns out, I noticed after the fact there was a sign for it, and it was a snow plow. And that looked like the ultimate snow plow. It looked like quite a beast. Can imagine seeing something like that in action. And two, saying steampunk, shoot, that being an older looking engine like that, that might have even been steam driven. I would not doubt it at all. But yeah, I was talking to steampunk. I've seen, watched a animated movie in the past year or two, and then there's a series on an animated series on Netflix that was steampunk, and Arcane, maybe, if anybody's interested. And it was one of the there's some stuff I didn't like about it. It got a little risque, but that's TV does, of course. It's no excuse. I don't care for that aspect of it, but the animation and just the story and everything was like nothing I'd ever seen before. I'm hoping they'll do another season of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Arcane, but absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's enough about that. So again, like I said, it was a snowplow. On something too, as I was kind of panning past it, looking at the bay and the tracks, and then I kind of showed there was a walkway on the left side of it, a covered walkway that you walk up some steps, and it was all wood, and then it had a cover over it, overlooking the tracks there. I actually thought about sleeping there last night, out of the rain, and I'm so thankful I didn't, because I can't tell you how many times trains came by and the trains would have been right there. So I am so thankful I didn't do that. And again, that covered area I had over by the historical signs, that was perfect. The Lord so blessed me with an amazing dry spot to crash last night, and again, I slept so good right there. Even though the road was just on the other side of some trees and bushes, the road was there. And again, this whole thing of being staying light, it seemed like the traffic stayed fairly heavy for a while, because again, it was like 11:30 by the time I finally crashed, and cars were just going by like it was much earlier in the day or in the afternoon or something. But again, that's the road down to Seward. It's the road down to Homer, and from Anchorage. So just a lot of people. It was the weekend, probably a lot of people heading down and just out running around and stuff. But still, like I said, it didn't affect me one bit. Thankfully, I slept well right there. Yeah, I think before I use any more memory here, I should just shut it down. And almost think up here in the sky, it's still covered with clouds, but I almost think